So welcome to the LMS intro class. As you can see here, this is how the users are going to be logging into the system. Basically, they have portlets that they can customize and rearrange. At the very top, you can see any learning assignments that you may have gotten, anything that are overdue, anything that are due next, anything that are due later. They will be shown here in the My Learning assignments. You can also search and find classes, and you can also browse all the classes that are assigned that are in the system. You can click on the browse courses. You can look at all the classes that are available. So this is the course catalog. Basically, this is the content catalog that any company might have. Any company that you may be working with, code of conduct, success factors learning, accounting, advanced project management. So they can be, you can browse all these different sections. Basically, all these different sections. Basically, the content that you need to be learning. It is broken down by category: instructor-led, online, external programs. It's also broken by the subject area: business skills, competencies, compliance, and also source: external or internal, and also by the delivery method. If you only want online, or you only want instructor-led, you only want the classroom, so you can also break it down by the delivery method. So this is the user perspective. You can search something here. Look at the catalog. You can look at the code of contact, and you can say assign that to me, and you can also start the class basically, and you can complete the class, and your class will be recorded for you within the system. So I can click on go back right here. I'm going to say there are some other things that just SuccessFactors is telling you. You can do work from your to-do list. You can create a to-do list. You can add items to your catalog. You can quickly complete the task, easy access tasks. You can click on the shortcuts, and you can complete the task, and you can stay on the target. You can see at the very top, you can review your status parts frequently, and then drill down, and then actually see how far is your progression. Okay, and then you can also build quick links here, bookmarks, and also you can go to the curriculum status that was assigned to you, my curriculum. You can also look at the history of your recently completed items or statuses. So this is the user side of how Success LMS is going to look like, and this is the administrative side, how LMS is going to look like basically. Here basically you have the system admin portion. The system admin portion, basically here you can just gonna go in there. You can do the application admin, you can do the security, you can do the automated processes, you can connect to interface the data back and forth. You can do the systems configuration, you can customize the columns, you can look at the background jobs. Okay, and you can also look this in the user tab. You can create the users. For example, I can create the user. These are called the buttons. At the top, it's called the button bar, and there's a home. In the button bar, you have home, users, competencies that the company would like for example, project management, accountability, anything, any competencies that company might need, that company might want. You can click on the competencies. You can also here create the learning. You can create the content, and you can also create some kind of a commerce. People can add it shopping cart and things like that, and you can do the system administration functions. When I click on the user, you can see there's a lot of navigation buttons here. You can look at the users, you can search. I'm bringing up all the users now in the system. You can assign the users to profiles. You can create event rules, job codes, job families, positions, organization groups, regions, and tools. So if I click on one of the users, this is a user called KSR001, first name, last name, position, domain, who is the supervisor, what is his job code, what is his email address, and also everything that is assigned to him. These two classes are assigned to this particular gentleman. I can assign more classes to the particular. You can do add assignment right here. I can add more classes. If let's say this particular class HCM overview has been assigned, I can click on that, and it will take me to learning. So because that is the class. HCM process is a class, and it's in the learning tab. So I'm navigating all the way from here to particularly here for this particular class. And there will be a catalog. You can create subtitles, you can create sub areas, you can create online content, you can tag it to a competency, and you can assign profiles back to that particular learning class. I can edit the description, I can create a cover page, I can change all the you can assign even a price so that departments can get charged for this particular class. Okay, and then I can go into content. I can create quizzes, I can create questions, I can create content packages, I can create documents. I can also choose to deliver. Do I want to deliver it online? What tool should I use to deliver? Is it a browser based? Is it a does it need Java? Does it need any of the online tools? You can also customize and configure these things. So LMS basically is a learning management tool that companies would install to assign a class to a user, create your online learning content, deliver the content back to the user using the browser based system. So in the SuccessFactors HCM Suite, you can see there is recruiting, there is onboarding, there is learning, there is performance and goals, compensation, succession and development, basically. So here you can see competencies, skills, and best practices. And again, we are in the here in the second part, third part, which is called the learning module. That's where we are focused on. Okay. So the goal of section is basically, I'm just going to go in through this presentation here. We have already seen here, you can access the SuccessFactors learning as an administrator or as an end user. So we've seen both, right? We went here and see this is the as a end user and this is as a administrator. We have seen both how to access those things. Administrator is an administrator of the SuccessFactors learning tool. His role is to determine what actions that you might take in the system to enable the catalog to edit the learning items, such as items, curriculum, program, and assign their learning and schedule the training and register user recorded learning events and run the reports. So that's the administrator's job, SuccessFactors administrator's job. Okay, and also users are company users, so they could be your partners, instructors, supervisors, managers. They're basically there to learn. Okay, so LMS has an entire life cycle. In the LMS life cycle, basically you have the scheduled offerings, means every week you have scheduled classes, and you also have the curriculum. You have item A, item B, item C. You have a different curriculum. Some of these are documents, some of these are presentations. They all go into the catalog. Catalog is a collection of the classes, and the user reviews the classes and creates a learning plan. Hey, I want to do these 10 classes this year and maybe one class every month, and then creates a learning plan. A supervisor can also create the learning plan. A company can also create a learning plan for a particular user. If it's a new employee, you can assign an orientation class to the employee, and you can also do the user registration. User can also register for the scheduled classes. You can also look at the learning history. You can also do the feedback, and you can also do the reports, basically. So this is the overall landscape of the LMS learning tool or LMS learning module. Okay, so admins do not have to place the records into the catalog. They can assign it, but the catalogs are only necessary if the user will be assigning or self-registering into the system. Okay, so basically let's look at some definitions. We already looked at admin is a person who's going to be creating permissions, assigning those things. What is a catalog? Catalog basically provides access to items. So catalog is a collection of items. Okay, it's basically curriculum, it's programs, it's scheduled offerings. Those will be in the catalog. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that a lot. What is a catalog? It's a collection of items, collection of curriculums. What is a curriculum? A set of one or more items. Basically, it's a collection of items that can be assigned and tracked to a group. A curriculum means it's like a HCM curriculum, finance curriculum, quality management curriculum, engineering curriculum. So it's a one or more items that are assigned and tracked as a group. Okay, curriculum is a collection of items basically. A domain is basically designation for many records in the system that is used as a security model basically. So you can create a UK domain, you can create a US domain, you can create an engineering domain, you can create a maybe security domain. You can create a domain and assign all these items back to the domain. It's mostly security. Who can access these things? Maybe some restricted items that you may have in the domain that you only assign it to certain groups. Okay. And you can also do feedback surveys once a class is done. Hey, how do you like the class? Once they can rate the instructor. They can maybe give a feedback on how effective is the class. And you can also let's talk about what is HRBP. HRBP is Human Resources Business Partner, basically responsible for learning needs of multiple users across the company. Similar access to the users, given to for the supervisors as well. Instructors, obviously very clear, a resource who will deliver the instruction or facilitate a scheduled offering. Okay, instructors are able to view the details of the scheduled offering. They can look at the segment details. Okay, they can also start vital learning sessions and possibly record the learning. For online offerings, you may not have an instructor. You may just have a virtual instructor. So this is the basic thing. The item is also known as a course. So it is the basic finite element of the learning module. It is a learning activity that can be assigned and tracked. So items will become part of the curriculum. Curriculums is a collection of items. They'll be assigned to a group. Curriculum could be Successfactors training, that's a curriculum. HCM class, that's a curriculum. Engineering quality, it's a curriculum. But in the item, you could just have, say, just SuccessFactors, LMS training, just SuccessFactors recruitment training. Okay, and you can also have the learning event, the successful completion. You can have a learning event where basically you're offering the item both internally or externally, and people can actually receive the credit. And you can also look at the learning history, and you can look at that multiple times using the learning history. Okay. And you also have the organization owner, person who has the ability to run an organization dashboard basically. So they can summarize the training completions. They can look at the projections. Hey, how many people have not taken the class? How many people are only 90%? How many people are overdue within my organization? So they can go back and actually bug these people to start making the offerings. Okay. And there is a program. Program is basically a series of learning activities such as links, virtual sessions, and also combined to view a schedule of learning. So it's a collection. Okay, program. And also you're going to have a registration, so people can register. So, you can be waitlisted. You can cancel a class. You can put yourself in the status. Okay, this would be. Yeah, Eric, we're just giving people an overview of a sub-module called LMS. So just just follow us through class. The real class did not start, so we're just starting something like an introduction to LMS.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought it was 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
So reporting is very key. You can look at the learning history. You can look at the learning needs. You can look at the learning plan. You can look at the curriculum status. So administrator can run many reports. So if you have a HR meeting, you can show it to the VP. You can show it to the directors. So you can look at the different types of reports basically, and then go. Supervisor is a person who is listed in the primary supervisor field of the user record. Supervisors will see all their direct and indirect subordinates. basically to see who's learning. There you can see, they can see the learning histories. The person can also assign the training to their employees and may be permitted to register for the scheduled offerings. Okay, they can do all that. They can assign alternative supervisors, basically. Users. So basically users are the finite element, people who access the LMS, and people are performing the activity. Okay, so we looked at the basically the terms. So domain, basically domain is the structure to be critical part of the company's security model. So you need to think about, this is the basic design that you need to work on. Domain could be, again, you can create a HR domain, IT domain. IT people don't need to access engineering classes. Engineering don't need to access the finance classes. So you can create a public domain as well. Means anybody can access that particular class. Okay. Um, and there is this catalog control. Okay, so you can create within the catalog, you can create items, you can create curriculums, you can also create programs. A user may self-assign to himself. Okay, those are the catalogs. So this is the SuccessFactors learning chain. So basically people schedule, you can schedule the classes, people can enroll the classes, and there'll be a resource manager. You can manage the resources, you can access online content, you can do online testing and evaluation, you can create training records, you can track the cost and the revenue. Means each class sometimes could have a fees, and you can assign the users to the schedule. So basically this is like the summary of the portal, the class schedule, and this will be the LMS access. So if you are, I will give you access to this LMS module. So you should be able to go here, basically look at the users, search the users, maybe go back here again, add new users, first name, last name. Is pretty basic, pretty basic. All these things. User status is active, profile status is active. What is the position ID? This is pretty standard. You can assign the profiles. Basically there are multiple profiles. Right here you can assign the profiles back to the users. You can create positions and different things over here. So basically again the key thing is the content. You can create the content packages, basically. These are the basic classes. Golf explained, API works. So you can go back to so many different classes here. Lesson test module, you can click on the particular module, and you can look at that particular commitment. So here what is the title, what domain, who can actually see it, security, and also you can go back down below, who's the does it have any copyright, and what is the file name, and how we want to deliver this particular content. And you can also create the actual content. You can create the folders, how this content is going to be structured. You can go back and edit these folders. You can apply the changes. You can add a brand new content package over here. So let's look at this thing called live help here. You can edit the content. It's just a folder. Basically this is the content object, and that's the label is you're just creating a help, and this is what your content objective would be. So okay, you can create all those things. So this is the basic in how you create the content, and also you can create the learnings. Means you can create standard offerings, like SuccessFactors class, HCM class, SAP MM class. You can create the classes, you can create the offerings. You can also create the catalogs within the learning module. You can create the curriculum. We talked about what is a curriculum is. It's a collection of all the basic items. So you need to be very familiar, basically, with the with these the terms. Okay. So we gonna be, if you're taking LMS class, I'm gonna be giving you all these different training material. Basically we're gonna go through LMS administration. How do you administer LMS, how do you create the frames, how do you create the cross links, how do you create the content. Basically we're gonna go through this administrative section, basically one at a time. How do you assign the users, how do you create the users, basically. Okay, So we're going to be talking about these, how do I create the online courses? How do we add items? How do I create instructor-led classes? How do I assign profiles? User management. So we're going to go through all that as the admin section. So we're going to be looking at the user side, and we're going to be also looking at the administrative side. As you can say, this is a pretty good training documentation. This is at the top, it's called the button bar, and you always see something called guide me. You can see it's like a quick link to what that is. You can actually see some quick videos and guides, and also you get to see the quick links, top frame and menus and things like that. So pretty nice document here, where we can talks about detailed, exactly, hey, this is a left menu, this is a bookmark, this is a top menu, this is the content frame. Kind of walks you through step by step. So I'm going to be using that, kind of walk you through this particular document, and also switch back to the live example and also show you the same thing. Okay, so we're going to be following both the documentation, training documentation, and also the live example, and I will be giving you access to this particular training document as well, both training documentation, the videos, as well as the access to the tool, so you can go ahead and practice and create your own content for this solution. Okay, so let me pause here.